Hi everyone, it's Michelle and welcome back to the Royal Daily Tea History and Fashion channel. Did a diamond necklace lead to the downfall of the French monarchy and ultimately the death of Marie Antoinette? Today we're going to talk about the story, the affair of the necklace, better known as the Queen's necklace, that many people attribute to the French Revolution. So you know what to do. Sit back and relax, grab yourself a beverage, and let's get into some royal history. Now, they often say that truth is stranger than fiction, and this tale, guys, does not disappoint. It reads like a fiction novel, but in fact is 100% true. Now, we often hear of current royals complaining about the tabloids and horrible things that are written about them. Well, back in the 1700s, Marie Antoinette was definitely a victim of vicious royal gossip that led to her downfall. So let's go back to the very beginning of how all of this started. Now, the affair of the diamond necklace started back with Louis XV in 1772 when he made Madame de Bari, one of his mistresses, a very special gift that is estimated to be around 2 million livres, approximately $15 million in today's market. Now, he requested a Parisian jeweler by the name of Charles Auguste Baumer and Paul Bassange to create a diamond necklace that would surpass all others in grandeur. Now, it took the jewelers several years and a great deal of money to amass an appropriate set of diamonds. So Louis XV unfortunately died of smallpox, and his grandson and successor banished the mistress, Madame de Bari, from court. Now, it was described as a beautiful necklace that had a row of 17 diamonds that were as large as hazelnuts. They were pear-shaped, multi-star shaped with a huge cluster of diamonds. Now, the jewelers had hoped that this necklace would become a product of the new queen, Queen Marie Antoinette, that she would buy the necklace, and indeed in 1778 they presented the new king with this necklace. However, him and his wife declined to purchase the necklace. It is said that Marie Antoinette felt they needed, quote, 74s, which were these huge warships, rather than a necklace. Now, after she gave birth to their son, Louis Joseph, the Dauphin of France, in 1781, they once again presented her with the offer to purchase the necklace, and she once again refused to purchase it. So we have a woman who is a countess by the name of Jeanine de Valas Saint Remy. She was self-styled as the Comtesse de Lamont. Now, she passed herself off as a descendant of the former French royal family, the Valas, but whose links to nobility were fairly dubious. Realizing that her husband's, paltry income was not going to be enough for her to leave the extravagant lifestyle that she so desired, she kind of wanted to get a plan to get close to the queen herself, but unfortunately, Marie Antoinette wanted nothing to do with this woman who had a very shady past. Apparently, she was related through an illegitimate child to a royal member of the English court. So, of course, Marie Antoinette wanted nothing to do with her. This lady was very, very ambitious, and she took a lover by the name of Watois de Valette, who was a soldier who served with her husband. And also in 1783, she became the mistress of a very prestigious cardinal by the name of Cardinal de Rohan. Now, the cardinal, who had been a French ambassador to Vienna for many, many years, had fallen out of favor with Marie Antoinette due to the fact he wrote some unkind things about Marie Antoinette's mother in some letters that somehow became public. So he was really desperate to win back the royal favor because he wanted to serve the king in the royal court. So the Countess Lamont saw her chance. She discovered that the jewelers Charles Auguste Baumer and Paul Bassange were trying to sell off this extraordinarily expensive necklace that had originally been designed for Madame du Barry, the mistress of the former king, King Louis XV. Now, the necklace was worth an estimated $15 million, and at the death of the king, the necklace was unpaid for. Now, the jewelers were facing bankruptcy. They were desperate. They were quite angry that the royal family would not purchase the necklace. They had already tried to sell it to the current king several times, but she kept refusing. So Lamont came up with an intricate plan and persuaded her lover, the Cardinal Rohan, that she was in the Queen's secret favor and had a fake relationship with the Queen. Remember, she was trying herself to get into the royal court. The Queen wanted nothing to do with her because she had a very shady past. Her claims to the royal family were through illegitimate claims. So here it is that she sees an opportunity to get herself on some royal jewels. So she tells Rohan, I have a secret hookup with the Queen. We're besties, so why don't you write her a letter telling her your true intentions to beg for forgiveness for writing these horrible things about her mother, and I will secretly pass them to the Queen, and nobody has to know. So, of course, he immediately falls for this. He writes a secret letter to the Queen and passes it to her friend Lamont. Well, of course, Lamont is the one who starts conversing with the cardinal, pretending to be the Queen, unbeknownst to him. Now, apparently she involved her other lover, Villette, who was a forger, where she created her own replies from the Queen using these fake letters. And the way that they signed the letters apparently would prove it wasn't the Queen, and that someone like the Cardinal should have known how royal family members use their Christian names when they sign off on letters. But apparently he was unaware of this and believed he was really talking to Her Majesty the Queen. Well, during his exchange in these letters, they became more friendly and more warm, where the Queen had professed her feelings for the Cardinal. So the Cardinal began to believe that him and the Queen, were catching feelings. Now, in one of these letters, the Queen had talked about her desire to purchase the very expensive necklace, but she needed to do it secretly, that she couldn't come out publicly and purchase such an extravagant event, especially since the country was in a very dire financial situation, and she was hoping the cardinal would do her a favor and lend her the money to purchase the necklace. So, of course, Rohan, he's very desperate to get in the Queen's favor, and he decides, okay, I'm going to go ahead and purchase the necklace on your behalf. Now, the cardinal believed these letters were authentic. He agreed to buy the necklace for the Queen. A late-night secret liaison was arranged in the garden of the Palace of Versailles, where the cardinal was to meet the Queen. But in reality, Lamont sent a prostitute who resembled the Queen by the name of Nicole. This prostitute, who was impersonating Queen Marie Antoinette, assured him that she had forgiven him of all of his past discretions, of the comments that he had made about her mother, and that they had a very close and sincere relationship. Now, the cardinal was thrilled, so he goes off and contacts the jewelers, agreeing to pay for the necklace in installments. Now, the jewelers were told to give the necklace to Lamont, who passed it on to her husband, who immediately began selling off the individual diamonds in London on the black market. Now, the swindle was finally uncovered when the cardinal apparently did not make his first payment to the jewelers, and he was unable to produce the necklace. The jewelers complained to the Queen, who revealed her ignorance on this entire affair. So the cardinal was immediately arrested along with Lamotte, the forger Villette, the prostitute Nicole, and a gentleman by the name of Count Calastro, who was one of the cardinal's clients, whom Lamotte accused of orchestrating the entire con. She literally was trying to pin everything on this man who had nothing to do with it. Now, the cardinal was acquitted and exiled to one of his own properties in the south of France. Villette was found guilty of forgery and exiled. Nicole d'Olivier was acquitted. I don't know how the prostitute, but she was acquitted. And Count Calastro, though he was acquitted, was exiled from France by the king. Now, Janine Lamotte, the person who masterminded this whole con, was found guilty and sentenced to a public whipping, as well as being branded with the word thief. And then she was imprisoned in a notorious prison for prostitutes. However, she managed to escape when she disguised herself as a boy in 1789, where she moved to London. Now, she decided to publish a memoir where, of course, she continued to blame the Queen Marie Antoinette for masterminding this entire affair. You guys, she escaped from prison dressed as a boy. Again, this sounds like a movie. Now, Louis XVI and Marie Antoinette, although they were completely unaware of this scam that was going on, and they decided to publicly persecute, kind of had a public hearing, people still believe that the queen had something to do with this necklace, because remember, she was enemies with the cardinal. She hated the cardinal. So some people believe she orchestrated a pretend letter scheme, that she hired Lamotte to pretend to be her, to trick the cardinal into thinking that she was in love with the cardinal, and tricking him into purchasing this necklace so no one would know that she was purchasing such an extravagant gift. But again, it doesn't make sense. She has the money. She was offered the necklace on several occasions. She turned it down. But people believed that she was evil, that she was selfish. She cared more about herself than she did of the people of France who were starving. People were literally starving. And her reputation started to tank. And then you have this lady publishing a book saying it was the queen's idea, I'm innocent. But again, she said she knows nothing about it. Well, unfortunately, at the time, they had these pamphlets that were kind of like modern day tabloids that were being distributed through town, and people were beginning to hate Marie Antoinette. Now, even though she said she knew nothing about it, she proved her innocence, people still believed the queen had a hand in the necklace. And this whole affair started to chip away and discredit the Bourbon monarchy in the eyes of the people. And the queen's reputation from this moment on, which is around 1785, it never fully recovered, and she pretty much stopped going out in public. Now, 4 years later, we have the French Revolution, and ultimately in 1793, she was executed by the guillotine. Now, this was the dying symbol of the corruption of the royal family. So what do you think of this story? Do you believe that Marie Antoinette set up an elaborate hoax to get back at her enemy, the cardinal, who spoke ill of her mother? Or do you believe she was an innocent victim of Lamotte, who was trying to scam her way to get millions of dollars worth of diamonds? So many people are wondering what happened. This necklace was never recovered. It was sold on the black market. They do have a complete replica of this necklace on display at Versailles. Now, Marie Antoinette had a very large and beautiful jewelry collection that was recently auctioned off at Sotheby's. But to this day, no one knows the whereabouts of this magnificent necklace. But what do you guys think? Do you think Marie Antoinette was guilty? Do you think she had a part of this mass scandal trying to discredit the cardinal, her enemy? Or do you think she was an innocent victim? And do you think this cost them their heads? Do you think this necklace and this scandal led to the French Revolution. Leave me your thoughts, guys, down below. As always, I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you so much for stopping by my channel, and make sure you check out the Royal Daily Tea. Bye, guys.